Welcome back to the Steel Toe Tutor. My name's Richie, and today I'm going to show you guys unboxing a Vevor vibe plate, and I got it on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description, but I'm going to get it out of the box, show you guys from the beginning, unboxing it, putting it all together, and show you guys the process and kind of give a review on it. With that said, I'm going to start tearing into it and getting this unboxed, and I'll take you guys with me as I unbox it. It does look like it leaked some oil while it shipped, but FedEx delivered it, and I'm not a fan of FedEx. It is very heavy too. I think it was 146 pounds, if I remember correctly. So in the top, there's this piece that goes over top. I'll pick it up and show you guys. That way I don't gotta move the camera. But on the top, there must just be the pieces to the handle. I'm assuming this goes down to the base, and then this will be where your hand is. But we'll continue to dig into it here and see what else we find. Okay, so we'll get some more stuff out of the way. Okay, now like I said, you can see there's oil like all over this. I don't know if that's from shipping or if it's from how they package it. I'm sure we'll figure out here as soon as I start digging into it more, but it looks like a little bit of a mess. I don't think they give you oil like shipping it wise. I think you got to put your own oils in it, but I'm not positive on that answer either. But I'd say if they gave you your own oil, it's probably all emptied in there. Okay, so we'll dig into this and see what we get. Yeah, there's oil everywhere. I really don't know what the oil is. I mean, there's oil everywhere. On the instructions, there's oil. It's, I mean, laying in the instructions. So, first impressions, either FedEx did it or something's broken, leaking oil everywhere. I don't even know how to grab a hold of this to get it up. Not very impressed right off the bat here. No one's paying me to do this. This is all my own money. So I'm reviewing it based on my own money. There's a wheel broke on it too. That's how it was shipped to me. wheel snapped off of it. So as I was saying, now I got it out of the box and got some pictures of it to talk to Amazon about maybe some money back. Um, I found the other part of the wheel. It's there. Ain't nothing I can do with it because it's quite broken, but it is what it is. So I don't know where the oil came from. I'm not really sure. There's a tag on the motor oil dipstick that says there's no oil in it from factory, like the motor itself. But up here, there's a sticker on the like vibe part of the motor, and it says have the vibrator box have been oiled. Remove tape and packing plug before using. So I'm not sure if like this was upside down, so the oil leaked out of somewhere. But on the back of the motor is this, and it's the same thing. Yeah, see, they're bent because they're real flimsy. I don't know how you're getting a valid oil reading on that, but hey, I wanted to show you the tag. The tag on it just says the engine oil was shipped from the factory without oil and fill with 10W30 before 10W30 oil before starting. So they want you to put 10W30 in it. I'll put that back on there that way I don't mess up and accidentally forget that it needs oil. It's also hard because you gotta be careful with these plastic plugs because if you screw them in wrong, you strip the threads out of them and then it's a bad time. So we'll leave that on there. But we're gonna dig into the instructions here and see that's your throttle cable there. You'll attach it to the poles. But I do want to check this to see if there's oil in that or what I'm supposed to do here. But they give you control or California Air Reese's board emissions, control warranty stuff. And then this is for the gas motor, all your specs, telling you how to start it, how to run it, and all that. Might even be parts in here somewhere. So engine oil, check the oil each use, change it after 20 hours, after the first month or 20 hours, and every 6 months or 100 hours. It says clean the spark plug every 6 months or 100 hours and replace it every year or 300 hours, which I could see. Going through the book real quick. If you buy one, you'll go through it better. You got your oil dipstick telling you your drain bolt, which is down low on your motors at the base of it. And then on this page, I was pretty sure that you could run different oils, but it all depends on your temperatures. Some places are different, some places aren't. But your motor oil is 5W30 from 0 degrees to -20. 10W30 covers up to -20, so it does a large amount. And then you can do just 30 weight, SA30, and that's if you're from 10 degrees and above. There's your gapping for your spark plug, what it's supposed to be. So you want to gap it between 0.028 and 0.031. I do recommend this. I've had some motors where I didn't gap them and I just put them in to get going and get running, and it did not run like it should run. If you gap them, it's going to make that right gap that it's supposed to run at, and it's going to spark really well and keep up. Almost everything you work on, if it has a manual, it's somewhere on there that you'll have the spark plug gapping, that you can just use a tool. I'll show you guys. I'll check it and make sure it's right, but I'll show you how to gap it and everything. So that's the engine book, and then you have then it gives you another tag that specifically says that you need to add oil to everything. So this machine's covered in oil, correct? So the Vevor must know that this is a common thing. On the, I know it's kind of hard to see because of the sun, but on the sheet it says, if you find oil leakage at the location after removing the vent seal, it is because the machine may have been upside down for a long time, placed on its side, or rolled over during transportation. I would say that's very valid. The lubricating oil in the vibrator leaks out from the small hole. It says vent on the shaft. You do not have to worry about it. Just unscrew the screw on the surface of the vibrator and fill it with 10 through 15 milliliters of the oil model 10W30. If you're not able to operate or are not sure how to operate, please contact customer service to guide you. If your equipment is damaged, lost, or difficult to start when it is received during transportation, please contact customer service as soon as possible to help you solve the problem. We will do everything possible to help you solve the problem. We are also making great efforts to avoid some problems that may occur. To ensure the perfect delivery of the equipment to your hands, thank you for your support and trust. Wish you happy life. It does tell you like where the vent hole is and all that. So I'll have to look through this once we start actually putting this stuff together, which is going to be tomorrow. But for now, I'm just getting through unboxing everything before I gotta head to work. It does suck that there's oil over everything. I mean, even the book, you can see it. There's oil on it. Probably why they have like fancy laminated pages. So this one is your forward plate compactor. So I'm guessing it's going to break down introduction, applications, structure, safety, operation, stuff that you need to wear, and proper PPE while operating it. So this goes over the same stuff. Starting, stopping, operation, how to run it, turning up your RPMs and everything. It gives you your spark plug gap again. So basically everything you already looked at, it's telling you again here. And then it gives you a replacement parts list that you can get into, and it'll show you all the different replacement parts. But I know some people might be looking for that. I know I look through videos sometimes looking for answers of that. I'm trying to make sure I do this right without messing this up. Never really gave me instructions on how to install the stuff. It gave me a spark plug tool, I think. 2 zip ties. Everyone needs them. And then you got your crank downs for your handles. I still don't understand where the installation instructions are, like how to install everything. So I guess we're about to just wing it. And whoever that wants to watch this, that wants a step by step, I'm going to give it to you because they didn't give me instructions with it. So I'm gonna wing this and see if I can get this put together. So they give you this fancy tool here, and it is only for the spark plug. Nothing else. Does not fit on anything else. A little bit on there, but you're just gonna round that off. So I don't understand the purpose. Oh, but I know some people don't have tools like these, so that's probably the purpose it comes with it. Nothing bad meant by that. Just with being a mechanic, I have everything I need. But they put the spark plug in there. I mean, tight. I don't know how they want me to check the gapping when it's so tight you can't even move it. There should be a torque spec on it of how tight it can go, or you just snug it up with your fingers. But you gotta be really careful, because if you go too tight and snap it off in the block, it is not a good time. So I pulled the spark plug out. It's got oil on it too. It'll be all right. I have this snap-on spark plug tool. The numbers there, I've only used it a couple times, but it gives you a scale and a little bender, and then you just go through the scale, and you want your contact tipped to be in there, and you'll go from here, and then as you go up, you can see it climbs as you go across there. So you're going to go from 20 or 0 20, 0 30, and just keep climbing. The spark plug on the machine, it said it needs to be between 0 28 and 0 31. So right now it's stopped right there. You don't want to force it. You just want it to slide up and stop. That'll give you an idea. They also have this blue stuff all over it that you get all over your hands. But you want it to slide up and stop. These do bend really easily. So right there, you're a little high, but without forcing it, it stops at about 30. So I'd say your gapping there is all right. Then you just put this back in. It's kind of hard to see it, but you just got your piece there and your hole down in here. So I just started with my fingers. That way you know you're not cross-threading it and you're being safe about it. Slide this little tool they gave you down over it. And then it just snugs up. And then take this. I wouldn't go crazy. Like I said, just take your finger. And I would stop. That's already pretty tight there. I know it's going to vibrate, so you might want to snug it up just a little bit, because it could vibrate loose. But for now, I would definitely stop there. Put your piece back on. Don't ever put your hands in here, because you're going to get shocked for fun. Push it down on. That locks her in. And then, since there's no instructions, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm assuming you take this bolt loose here, and then your handle that I showed you in the beginning drops down between here and here, and then it's easier to hold it. Okay, so these bolts are an 18. I'm assuming you just take them, loosen them up, back them out. The washers are pretty big, so I'm guessing you just push your pieces into here and then put her together. Without any instructions, it's kind of hard to give you a perfect answer here. I'll see how this does, but in the long run, I may need to put like blue Loctite on these bolts so that way they don't vibrate out. But I'm assuming you grab this and you slide that in, and that washer is big enough that it doesn't go past it, and that's what locks it in. But I'm not positive on the answer. But I'd say it's a pretty good guess because it seems like it's right. And then there is a sleeve inside, so when you tighten it up, you don't crush this rubber, and it just sits there and turns on that either nylon or rubber or whatever it is. Okay, tighten this up here. I gotta head out for work soon, so like I said, it still lets that turn once you tighten that up. Oh, okay, that takes care of that for it. And then there's no real set side to this. I mean, nothing on here is showing me that I gotta pick a certain side. So I think you just slide it on there, take a bolt, slide it through there. Well, maybe the bolt's supposed to go on the inside. I would say it's up to your decision what you want. I don't know, I'll probably put the bolt on the inside. That way these don't get caught on things and broken at all. But I'll wait to decide here. It might be best to leave it on the outside. But that gets that in place real quick. And then get that one slid through too. I'm just trying to button up a few things here before tomorrow, and then I'll put oil in it, and I'll put my throttle cable on tomorrow before I gotta get out of here for work. And then you just turn these up. I'm gonna say enough to snug everything up. That way, and that washer there is formed in the round shape. That way it sits real nicely in there. Okay, I'm back. It's been a few days. I had a busy life going, so I was away for a handful of days. But I'm gonna get back to where we're at and get our fluids in this thing and get our cable hooked back up and kind of go from there and get it all fired up. Hopefully lay it in some of the dirt today and show you guys the rest here of how it runs and going back and forth with it, and then that should end the video. Okay, so I took off the belt cover. That way I could show you guys the belt. And then also I was trying to figure out why all the oil was everywhere. And I talked to Vevor. Vevor is gonna send me a new wheel. They didn't, no hassle, no nothing. They just said we'll send you one. So good on their part that they're gonna send me one. And then they said it's normal to have the oil all through there. It has a rubber gasket down in here on the vent seal on the shaft. It being a vent hole, they put a rubber band on it, and that's what this yellow tag showing you is that vent hole. it needs uncovered. Well, there's a hole in mine, so it built up pressure somewhere and popped a hole through the rubber band, and I cut where the hole was. But if you look, you can see that there's a little bit of a hole split in it from shipping. We need to fill this up, so we'll take that loose. I already broke it loose. It's 17 millimeter. Take this front plug out. So then they just said I had to fill it with 10W30, which I have there, between 10 and 15 milliliters of oil. I'll wing this and see how much oil it takes. So we'll put this on and tighten it up and go from there. I would assume it needs to be more full than empty. I really go so tight with that too, so you don't break it on accident. So now I will turn this, get this turned, and we'll start putting oil in here. Like I said, if you're doing this, I'd make sure, like we opened this up before, I would definitely make sure you're leaving your empty tags on there. That way there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and you don't accidentally start it with no oil in it. Because that would not be good. We'll go ahead, start filling the motor up with oil. It calls for 10W30 also. And we'll go from there. This will be a little tricky getting oil in here. I can't promise this won't be a mess either. Like that. I just got a bunch in my hand. One reason I do not like small motors is this right here. You can barely get the oil in them. Okay, I've done this a good bit at times when I can't get oil into something because the hole is too off. I'll just take this little oil pump I have, and it's just for like lubing stuff for mill guys or whatever they're using. But I just use it for what I'm doing, and when I'm drilling, I'll put 1540 in this, and since it's a little bit thicker, it seems to not like burn up really quick. You'll start filling this up. Main thing is make sure when you're screwing this in, you don't cross thread it, because then you're gonna have a really bad time. If you can't spin it with your finger, it's going in crooked. Back it out. Check your oil level. I'm on the very bottom, needs to be on the very top. Thanks to my wife, Dunkin' Donut straw on my extension. Now it pumps really easy and I'm making less of a mess. Makes a little of a mess still, but oh well. You're gonna have a mess either way. So once again, wipe it off, put it in there, Take it out. Once again, just make sure you're not touching anything. So it's a little over full now. Also, once it goes through the motor and all that, and a little bit is left behind in places, it should be all right. Okay. Get this cover back on. These bolts take in each 6 Allen head. Just snug them up. Don't do anything too crazy. They got a lock washer in there, so when you snug it up, it pinches it anyway. So the bolt head, it doesn't go past. You need a wrench for sure, or a skinny socket, but you're not going to get on it. But the head is a 7. The nut that goes on the back side is a 10 millimeter. And you'll need a wrench for this side and socket or wrench for this side over here. And then you just mount this up there however you want, nice and tight. I made sure it was nice and flat, even with the handle going up, because they give you zip ties, so they know you have to zip tie this up out of the way. So and then I would say just throw one on here to tie this back. I'd say that's your best bet there. That'll let you do that. That's your max throttle. That's your less throttle. No cuts. I always take my blade and go nice and flat against there. That way you don't get cut. Fill this gas up. I don't really care for the chain that's in there. There's a fuel level in there that'll float up and down with it. Just fill this up. This is just normal gasoline. For people that don't know, this motor's a 4-stroke because you're putting oil in it. So, you just want to put regular gasoline. If it was a 2-stroke, then you would need to mix oil with your motor, but this is not. I do think the fuel gauge is stuck at the bottom. It didn't float up. And I'm not completely full yet. So, I'm going to say something with it might be messed up. But it'll be the first test run with it. Okay, so you're going to want your throttle the whole way down, so this up in its up position. You want your choke on. If you look at the arrows, it's pointing this way. You want your gasoline on, which it was already on from when it came to me. Turn your on switch on, and with all of that, you should just pull it. You may need to get a little bit of fuel. Oh, probably the worst motor I've started. There you go. It's gonna smoke really bad. With all the motor oil, it's gonna smoke itself, baking all of that off there. Definitely recommend throwing on a pair of earmuffs while you're running this stuff and like running the tractor. There's that. This thing is coated. It might not be breathing. Or yeah, I would say it's not breathing. So the next problem, once all your motor oil gets shipped to you, not in the motor, it soaks into your air filter. So then your machine, like as you saw when I fired it up first, does not breathe. Will not run right. There was so much oil in here that there's no way they oiled their seals to put this together like some people will, because there was so much oil in here. So we'll see if it'll run any better now that it can breathe and not starve itself. All right, so now that I got that oil out of that filter, fingers crossed it fires. My phone died finishing up the video, but I ran the plate compactor all through this, and it seemed to do pretty good. Once I get 2A on top of it, and compact it to, I'll use the plate compactor more doing that stuff, but I just wanted to use it and kind of show you guys how well it does. You can somewhat see the different layers where I was compacting it, but It's not perfect for right now. It doesn't need to be perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, please. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.